something. We could use some comic relief. That's right. And I'm relying on Gail for that comic relief. Good to see everybody. Welcome to our Success Mastermind for Friday, the 10th of December, 2021. John Lavenia here with you. This is Fun Friday. I'm wearing a fun shirt. I'm down to only like 2 or 3 like Hawaiian shirts. This one I've had for a long time. So it's not real silk, so it's held up. The silk ones, of course, they last a little while, but then that's it. So I'm gonna have to, when I'm in Florida, I'm gonna have to get some more like tropical shirts. So anyway, Gail, do you have a joke for me, or anybody else? You have a joke or a dog or a cat you want to display? Yeah, go ahead, Gail.
One evening, a husband, thinking he was being funny, said to his wife, "Perhaps we should start washing your clothes in Slim Fast. Maybe it would take a few inches off of your butt." His wife was not amused and decided that she simply couldn't let such a comment go unrewarded. The next morning, the husband took a pair of underwear out of his drawer. "What the hell is this?" he said to himself as a little dust cloud appeared when he shook them out. "April," he hollered into the bathroom, "why did you put talcum powder in my underwear?" And she replied with a snicker, "It's not talcum powder, it's Miracle Grow."
Gail,
Woo!
Thank you, Gail. Wow, that just happened. Well done. Well done, Gail. All right, good times. Hey, Edward, good to see you, brother. Okay. So what are we talking about here today? Not Miracle Grow and underwear, although that tickled me, Gail. Thank you so much. So I was in the gym this morning. Big shock, right? Actually, let me say this. I enforced my own exercise today because it was the last few days, and there's some great excuses here coming. Prepare for great excuses. Well, my wife was sick. There was a little stomach virus going around or something. My daughter was thrown up. And of course, we're starting to pack. We're collecting boxes and selling stuff off on Facebook Marketplace. And so I just hadn't been to the gym in 3 days. But, I did these other things. So last night, when I ate my 3-meat stromboli at Brooklyn Vito's Pizza, I decided for myself, you know what? I don't deserve to eat stromboli, 3-meat stromboli. Thank you. If I don't get to the gym. So I'm either going vegan or I'm exercising today, and I'm not going vegan. So I went to the gym and, because look, even with the habits that we have, and this is one for me, and you can take your own inventory. Okay. But the habit of consistently exercising, which in my world, and this, I reconcile this just fine, allows me to eat, 3 meat and cheese strombolis. There's healthier choices, but I get to make that choice because I'm pushing out the calories, and I'm, pumping iron and all that. Even with that habit, there are things in life, situations in life, which could impinge on or take me off course. So I've noticed that, especially in times of change, which right now I'm experiencing a time of change. So all of us, as we look at the transition from 2021 and whatever occurred this year for you, or whatever you caused to occur, and the transition into 2022, which is imminent, which something will occur, and hopefully you will cause things to occur, right? You won't just sit back and say, "Oh, let's hope this year works out." Where's that? I don't know. What is that, right? So we're going to cause something. So that right there, we could see that this is a time of deliberate decision-making, choices, change. Right now, if your statistics are perfect and you're rolling around in piles of cash and perfect health, and you're in your bliss and everything, keep on trucking. So yeah, the habits that you've already developed are worthy, of course. But we're also going to see, and maybe this is just augmented in my own mind just because of this whole moving scenario now that I'm engaging in. There are deliberate choices that have to be made, just like James Clear said in the book Atomic Habits, right? We have to assess our habits and not just it's nice that they're on autopilot, but sometimes we need to check the settings on the autopilot. So that's where I'm going with this here today. I've got to find ways to advance and not retreat in terms of things that are working for me or that I would like to work better. There are in times of change, there are things that we can learn and cause advancement rather than just falling back to whatever perhaps a lower standard that we've allowed ourselves. So a couple quotes are coming up for me as I'm hearing these words come out of my mouth. One is Eric Hoffer, who wrote the book, The True Believer, which some of you may be familiar with. It's a book about how cults are formed and like religions and like big mass movements, how mass movements are formed. And one of the things that he said, which doesn't necessarily have anything to do with cults or whatever, but that in times of change, the learners inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. Right. So I love that quote. And that means what? Constant, student, the posture of the student, maybe even deeper than that. Consistent willingness to observe and not to just allow things go on autopilot, to continue learning and to confront facts. Because look, I heard one of my mentors say, if you're running your business the way you were 5 years ago, you're going out of business. And here we are in the information age, right? Or the misinformation age, however you like to perceive it. And things move at record pace. There are, just in one example, like social media, right? Which didn't exist, a decade ago. But I guess there was MySpace or whatever. Actually, YouTube started in 2005. That was before it was bought up by Google conglomerate. Okay, it was just some guys doing, videos. And so we could see how quickly now, with this rapid pace of communication, how quickly things can change. Okay, all right, so that's valid. So that means I need to allow myself the awareness of how do I fit into all that, or what do I want to cause? Right? Again, the idea of cause and effect. These changes affect me, but also I can affect change. But that doesn't happen if I'm blind to situations, data, circumstances. I've got to be consistently willing to look. With our habits and with the things that we've successfully developed in ourselves, like going to the gym or whatever, these are things that we could say, I can afford to put that mostly on autopilot. But still, can there be little tweaks? Because that brings me to the next point, and that is the difference between advancing and retreating. I've been, as many of you know, right, I've done a lot of training in the shooting sports and self-defense, tactical training, stuff like that. And one of the concepts that have been drilled into us as students of that discipline is that all of this, here we are. In fact, some of you have been on the gun range with me. Daisy, I see Daisy here, you and your husband, right? But one of the things we learned, Daisy, was that this is a flat range. There's a paper target. There's dirt behind it. Nobody's getting hurt. There's no stress, right? We'll introduce time pressure. Now you got a certain amount of time to get the shots off and get them accurate. So that's nice, okay? But for real, like somebody shooting back, that's different. And so the training was, you will not rise to the occasion. Now that it's for real, and hopefully it never is, okay? But now that it's for real, I shall put on my cape and mask and rise to the occasion. Bullshit. You will drop to about 50% of your best training in the low stress situation. So if you're this good on a flat range, you'll be half as good when it's for real. So keep training. Right. So your non-stress, right, or your proficiency in the controlled environment should be friggin' astronomical, so that you can drop down to 50 or whatever percent of that and still be competent. So does that apply in other areas of life? Sure. We could see that in times of change, where in my case things have impinged upon my habits, my schedule, my preferred methods. Okay. It was still easy for me to not do the right thing. What's the saying that comes up for me all the time? As easy as it is to do the right thing, it's even easier to just not do it. So I didn't do it for a couple of days. And I found justifications, rationalizations. I found those things. Aha. So you see, being smart, Missy, is a blessing and a curse. I could do myself in with my own rationalizations and whatever stories I like to tell myself. So, and what is that really? What is a rationalization or a justification really? When I look at it, it's an unwillingness to look at the facts, the truth. The reality is, John, you could have hit the deck and done 20 push-ups. Yeah, I could have. Had I had integrity those last few days to the affirmation that Emile Coué gave us, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Okay, great. Well, what's one way you can get better? Well, go hit the deck, right? Do some jumping jacks. Do something. Okay, great. So now I've got integrity, right? So really, it all comes down to amazing. I should write this book. It really comes down to integrity. That's everything. Oh, I already wrote that. That's right. I should read that book. I should read that. Sometimes I read my own book and I'm thinking, my goodness, how profound I was when I wrote this. Hi, Lindsay. So now what I'm not telling you to do is have like this neurotic, always seeking perfection and you can never have a break or anything like that. Okay. So, however, how many breaks do we want to afford ourselves, especially when there's such an opportunity for advancement? And there is. Now, that's something you can perceive for yourself, again, if you're willing to look, or neglect, avoid, deny, right? So here comes 2022. This can be the best year of your life, your business, health, fitness, right? Yesterday does not set the precedent. Okay, yesterday's done. All right. So where are we going? And I say we must advance, not retreat, not fall back to our 50% of our best when it didn't really count anyway. So how do we do that? I'd love to kick this idea around with everyone. How do we do that? Well, here's what's coming up for me as I'm asking the question. I'm getting an answer. Well, how we do that is we compartmentalize and assess areas of our lives in which we are deliberately seeking advancement. Here's personal, health, spiritual, business, community, involvement, or whatever, right? So those things which you've assessed just based on your own values, these are important, more important than, I don't know, playing video games or something, right? So there's a hierarchy of importances, which if you're sane, you're able to assess, right? Crazy people don't, right? Everything's everything. And there's no discriminating thought, right? So you do have discriminating thought. You could say, look, this is paramount, right? This is a primary consideration. This is not interested, right? So there's different things. You can't be all things to all people. And in the world, right? You've got to, I like the saying, you can't have everything you want, but you can't have anything you want. Yes, you can. So here's everything. I want everything. Oh, hold on a second. But you can't have anything. So choose. All right. And so we're going to make some choices now. And we're going to, and here's where a lot of people, I think, fall down. We're going to quantify what it looks like. What is the ideal scene there? So here, let's say in the area of physicality, health and whatever. Let's say you wanted to gain muscle or lose weight or whatever, the situation is. You can quantify, lift this much for this many reps or lose this many pounds or kilos of, excess body fat or whatever it is. Now we're quantifying, we're setting an actual goal. So the intention is here, the purpose of it all, but then we're quantifying and giving ourselves something we can actually see and achieve. So this is where goal setting comes in, but it's not, I think a lot of people avoid this because, look, I just met with a group of people, new entrepreneurs who want to be successful. All right, great. What does that mean? We've had this conversation before. What do you want, right? Well, just to have enough or to help others or to be happy and vague, right? And if you're vague, well, you get to be vague, right? So can we just put a number on it? Okay, if we're talking about business, right? That's pretty easy. here's a number. Is it the ultimate number? Like you've arrived and no, but that's okay, right? Let's say somebody wanted to make, 10,000 a month and they were currently making, 5. Fantastic. Right. So now you got to go past 5 to get, 6 and 7. I mean, it's just math. Right. But now at least we could say, here's a real target, a real number. Man who shoots at nothing is sure to hit it. Right. So we got to have a target. Back to Maxwell Maltz, psychocybernetics, the whole idea of self-image psychology and servo mechanisms and all this automated, autopilot kind of stuff that's steering us in the direction of a known goal. That's his premise. Okay. Is that all of this machinery, there's a known goal, even if it's the goal, spoken or not, is to be, a loser and to your identity in life, your self-image, which you shall fulfill, is that woe is you or something, right? Okay. If that's the goal, then we will find or manufacture or invent methods, circumstances, what have you, to fulfill that known goal, whether we want to admit it to ourselves or not. So there is, like we were talking about yesterday, there is no failure. Okay. So there is the successful accomplishment of something. We've just got to be willing to look, assess, choose, rather than just run on autopilot. Why do I keep getting handed a turd? Right? Why is that? Well, are you willing to look at that? Why? Who keeps showing up at the scene of the crime? Great question. Oh, it's you. Imagine that. All right. So what part of this turd can you be responsible for? How do you keep attracting turds? And on the other hand, right, to continue to advance even with things that are workable. Wow, I'm getting, the gold, right? This is spectacular. Okay, why am I keep getting the gold? And what can I do to augment? In other words, get more of what I want and less of what I don't. This all comes through a bit of introspection, observation, and willingness to choose things which we have assessed for ourselves are most optimal for ourselves and for anyone else they affect. In other words, to do the most good in the least amount of time for the most amount of people. And when I think about that which attracts, I'm working on a project that's starting up now where I'm going to be working with medical professionals who want to expand their client base. And so this is something where, what do they want, right? This is the first question. It's the question we've been talking about. What do you want, right? So, well, more customers. I've heard that customers are good for business. Oh, well, that's good, right? Great. So the real opportunity then is what? More money in less time with less effort. And if we look at anything that you're offering in the marketplace, people are about increase and advancement, right? And so are you. So you're really offering more results in less time with less effort. People like that. People respond to that. Okay. So in your case, now that you're considering advancement in some area, what can you do to set yourself up for success, more results, do it in less time, and do it with less effort? Could also mean guesswork or less struggling, right? So take that equation and change the words out for however it works for you. More money and less time with less effort. Okay. So I think the time thing, that's pretty stable. We can sit on that word, but what is money? Okay. Or results or fitness or peace of mind or whatever it is. Right. So more of that experience, more of that result, and less time with less struggle, strife, guesswork, complications, things like that. So if that's our goal in various areas of our lives, and we can quantify that, well, now we can start making choices. There it is. So why would I choose to do this action versus that action? Because it would produce more of a result in less time with less effort or struggle. Now we're on the right path. Now, and this isn't the gospel according to John, right? This is just what's coming up for me as I'm hearing myself talk. Now we can compartmentalize and quantify and have actual goals, not vague, actual mile markers to hit, and make choices based on that and based on our assessment of what would produce advancement in less time with less struggle, let's say. Well, okay, great. In terms of my own peace of mind and spirituality and all that, well, maybe put it on the calendar that, I sit and get quiet for 15 minutes and then I immediately go into, read some scripture or something. Okay. You can do that. And to deliberately develop or enhance that habit. Some of you have read Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, where he talks about his savers, right? Here's the different things that you do throughout your daily method of operation to give yourself essentially an unfair advantage throughout the whole rest of your day. And you might start with just 1 minute per item, right? So silence or, meditation or whatever you want to call it, right? So silence is one of the items in the savers acronym. Okay. And I've never done that before. Oh, okay, great. Start with 1 minute. 1 minute is infinitely better than 0 minutes. All right. Great. How about 2 minutes? Right. So we're deliberately making choices based on what's important to us. Exercise, study, etc. Right. He goes through his whole savers thing. But we're doing this on a gradient. We're not, it's not all or nothing. And I think that's where a lot of times people get tripped up. Where I got tripped up for the last couple of days was here are these other things that are impinging and influencing me, and I'm allowing them to. And yes, it's good and right for me to divert attention and to help my sick daughter and whatever. She's doing great now. Everything's fine. But the reality was, by degree, rather than just abandoning exercise for 4 days, I could have done something. I could have fallen back to, here's some basics, right? Do some burpees or something. Yeah. And then go eat the stromboli, right? That was it. As I was putting stromboli in my face last night, I wasn't crying, but inside I was like, oh, this is so tasty. You don't deserve this. This is so tasty. You don't deserve this. Stromboli, come on, John. Come on. What about that 6-pack you were talking about? That's good talk. All right. Yeah. That's right, cowboy. Good talk. Keep eating. Oh, fun Friday. Who else has some thoughts on this? I kind of ran around in a bunch of circles here, but did anything stick? Did you get anything usable out of this today? I hope so. Missy, did I make any sense?
Yeah, first of all, I have to let you know that you created something out of formless substance. It appeared yesterday. A while back, you talked about seeing a devil dog somewhere. I'm in the store and I turn and there's a whole thing of devil dogs. I have not seen a box of devil dogs in I don't know how long. I didn't get them though.
Well, you're in New York though. They're everywhere over there. Yeah.
No, they're not. They have not been. Haven't seen it in ages. So I thought of you. But I had doctor's appointments yesterday and it took up many hours of the day. And I had a slight inner panic because I wasn't making calls. I wasn't sending emails. I wasn't making mugs. I wasn't designing. And I didn't know what to do. This is the first day in months that this has happened. And I've taken on so much more stuff. I couldn't reconcile my mind on how to stop feeling that it ran away with me, or I let that panic run with me, or I'm not saying it right, but you know what I mean. And so I need a fix for that. I got to plug something into that when this happens. And I had a couple of turds last night from website people that affected me to the point of tears. So again, I see areas where I have to improve. And I was total effect last night and have been to this hosting company, but these things have helped in so many ways. It doesn't mean that I'm doing everything perfect, but I'm doing it. And I just want to thank you for constantly giving us these reminders, because in the moment last night, it wasn't somebody shooting at me, but it was a version of that. And I fell below ground, So thank you. And I'm going to approach it differently next time. So thank you very much.
Missy, thank you. And let me acknowledge, if you will, the fact that as much as you're saying you fell down, okay, you look fine, like way better than tearful. And I mean, think of the emotional wreck that you could be, and you're not. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen, behold, right? So love you, Missy.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Okay. Who else? Who else? I see Gail and Giovanna and Lindsay and Edwards here and Daisy. You guys got any thoughts about this? I think Lindsay does. I see the smoke coming out of her.
I do. I missed some of that. My husband called. But when you were, I don't remember what part you're going through, but I kept thinking of don't miss twice. Maybe it was the gym part, but if you miss a day, that's fine, but don't miss 2 days in a row it kind of just, I don't know. It does. And if you're working on a habit, day 15 is like the hardest day to keep that. But I don't know why. I've noticed that in trying to establish new habits. Day 15 will kick your ass. For me anyway. Don't know why. But so yeah, that's been something I've noticed this year. And if you push past day 15, you can usually make it. Or that's my personal experience. But yeah, the don't miss twice. That's been a big deal this year.
Question for you, Lindsay. So if day 15, you apparently have some evaluation you made of day 15 for whatever reason, which is real for you. We'll just leave it at that. It's real for you. Okay. So you like a challenge, right?
I do.
Okay. I can't wait for day 15. I'm going to kick day 15's ass. Right.
Love that.
How fun. Games. I like it.
It is.
Yeah. So right there, your posture is much stronger than, day 15. Oh, I'm such a victim, so.
That's true. Oh,
I can't wait for day 15.
I love that.
Yeah. It's kind of like leg day in the gym. It's like, oh, I love leg day. Leg day is my favorite. I can't wait for leg day. Yeah. For anybody who does legs, you know what I'm talking about. So, all right. Flippancy, says Missy. Yes, flippancy. Fun games. Not so serious. All right. Anybody else? Any other thoughts on this with where we're going deliberately in 2022? Any other thoughts? Okay. So then here's what I'm going to do. I am going to make myself available for Be Heard at 6 p.m. Eastern U.S. time today. And anything that, any ideas, questions, anything you'd like me to have my attention on for members of this group. That's why we do that. And besides that, I'm just going to be getting my life in order because, supposedly moving is one of the stressful things you could do with life. And oh my God, we've done it a few times. So I'm not stressing too much. But anyway, if you guys are all good, we'll go ahead and wrap up with that. Great to see you. And everyone's looking happy and healthy, at least those of you on the cameras. And those of you who aren't, I'm wishing you perfection in every way, not in a neurotic sense, but keep advancement in every way. I'll say that. I'll see you guys this evening. Anybody who wants to show up, I'll be there at 6 p.m. Make it a great day.